Let's talk about the USC-Colorado game. In my prediction video, which showed up as one of those shorts videos somehow, I predicted USC to win 45-38. Final score, USC 48, Colorado 41. So I got the 7-point difference right. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but more so a bad thing when you look at just how this team played defensively. Offensively, they did great. Caleb Williams did everything he needed to do. Brendan Rice. And I didn't get a chance to watch the game live, but I was able to follow some of the updates on Twitter, see some of the highlights, and see the stats coming in. And defensively, there are a lot of issues, and things don't look like they've really improved from last year, or they haven't improved enough. And Lincoln Riley's going to have to make some tough choices regarding his defensive coaching staff, with Alex Grinch being the number one guy to look at, and then also Dante Williams in the secondary. For the amount of talent that I said in preseason that the secondary should be the most talented position group on the defensive side on this roster, just with the guys that they've recruited over the last couple of years. That this should be a high performing unit, but they're just getting torched way more than they should. So that's an issue. And then just with Alex Grinch, just the overall scheme and everything, and guys just not being put in positions to succeed, basically. And I'm not here to criticize any of the individual players, because I feel like with the guys that SC has under the right coaching, they could be achieving a lot more. And that USC has the offense there, and if they just had a better defense, then they'll look like playoff contenders, national championship contenders, really. And just from what we're seeing, that doesn't look like the case. I think in preseason I predicted USC to be an 11-1 team, but as things are going on right now, I see a few more losses coming if things don't change on the defensive side of the ball. And it's really unfortunate because, again, when you have a guy like Caleb Williams and this kind of talent on the offense, and it's just kind of going to be somewhat wasted. And I think keeping Alex Grinch the second year, or even just bringing him to USC from Oklahoma is gonna not say haunt Lincoln Riley, but it's gonna be one of those things where it was just not the best coaching move to keep him. And we as fans, USC fans, we've heard all the criticisms about Alex Grinch and Lincoln Riley too. I mean, from Oklahoma fans, I'm not here to be as critical of Lincoln Riley per se, but you hear criticisms, and so some criticisms you have to take with a grain of salt, because it's just more emotional, and people will say nonsense, and all that. But when you read through the lines and realize that, there is a degree of truth to some things that are being said. And like I said, I wasn't one to sing praises of Alex Grinch, and I was more, he's part of this new coaching staff. You got Lincoln Riley, you got Caleb Williams, you got all these great, this talent. You saw what things were like under Clay Helton. You might as well be optimistic. There's no reason to be critical from the beginning. Let's just see what happens. And okay, a year passes, and you say, okay, maybe defensively SC didn't have the right guys, didn't have the depth and all that stuff. Well, second year, they've been in the system. Coaching staff has been able to get the defensive guys that they've needed, and things still aren't looking better. Now, on the defensive line, I would say of all the defensive line linebackers and secondary, the defensive line looks like it's the most improved. But again, just with the overall coaching scheme and everything like that, it's not improving enough. So that has to be fixed. And I guess to keep things somewhat positive, USC, by beating Colorado, they remain undefeated against Colorado throughout their whole time in the Pac-12, and USC remains undefeated against Colorado all time, 16-0 or 17-0. Not that it's, specific, one, big thing to brag about, but if you just want to try and be somewhat optimistic, at least, you end that series on a high note. USC is the only team in the Pac-12 to remain undefeated against Colorado. Even Oregon and Washington and Oregon State and Utah, they've all lost to Colorado at some point. USC is the only one that hasn't. So I guess that's something fun to say there. But then on a separate note, with Colorado, with Deion Sanders, I think he's got that program going in the right direction. Maybe they aren't as good as everyone thought they were after their first, 2 or 3 wins, but they've still made a lot of improvement from where they were last year. So their season's already a success, and in the next year or 2 years, they're going to be they're going to be a much better team, and they could be competing for conference championships in the Big 12 and maybe go beyond that. But I'm just glad SC pulled away with the win, 5-0. Arizona next week. I'll make a prediction video a little bit later, but things are going to have to improve. If they don't, USC's not looking like a playoff caliber team right now, and there could be another 2 or 3 more losses coming if things don't change. But like I said, just take it week to week. Enjoy the wins to whatever extent you can. Be proud of Caleb Williams and what this offense can do, and we'll just hope the best for the defense. And worst case scenario, they get Alex Grinch or Dante Williams, find new opportunities elsewhere, and USC gets better defensive coordinators and better secondary coaching. Till then, fight on.